Use the Stratasys Mojo 3D printer here. Alright, first you need to put all of your files that you've made for your project onto a flash drive. Generally, I like you to wait and do like 3 people's projects at a time, so because it kind of wastes these little plates that we use. So your 3D print's going to go on this plate, so every time we 3D print, we're going to throw one of these away. So you open it up. This goes in these little hooks go in these grooves, and you just slide it back and it snaps into place. Okay, one thing you got to watch for is sometimes you get a little excess here, so you might want to take that out. This isn't bad though. And then there's some brushes up at the top of this, they actually pull right out. And you can check them, make sure they look like they're working. They clean off the print head. This looks good, and they just go right on some hooks if you want to get in there and kind of look at it. Okay, but that's pretty much it. It's very simple. If I close this and open this up,
Teachers, pardon
these.
the interruption.
All right, sorry about that. Right here, you change out the filament. This is the support material. This is the actual print material. You'll see M for material, S for support, and it gives you directions on how to. Basically, you clip and open these things up. Move this wire, clip and open that, pulls out. You load up another one. I keep them up here. I usually load them in and out though, so you don't have to worry about that. I just want to show you. Okay, close that up. If you come here to the screen, let's zoom in. You can actually see here's like all the stuff that's been printed. This was the last thing that was printed over here. If you go to select parts, you can go to I can go through all the things that have been 3D printed. Like these are projects from last year. And I can click on them and pull them up if I want. This tells me how much material is left. I've got 10 cubic inches of material. That means if I was to print a 1 inch by 1 inch cube, I could print 10 of those, okay? The support material's got 41.7. It goes through the regular model material a lot faster than it does the support. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and minimize this, and I'm gonna put in your flash drive. Okay, it'll install the driver, pull it up, click open folder to view files. Okay, and I see these are good. So right here's the format I want. This says Evelyn 1 times 2, so she needs 2 of these, 6 of these, and 12 of these, okay? I would have rather it been like part 1, A1, A2, A3, so I know the difference between the parts, but that's okay. Dominique did it perfect here. She needs 4 of each of these 3 parts, and Ricky didn't do it right, but that's okay. He should have put your name on it, but
I did. I wrote my name.
It's okay. All right, so we see those files there. We're going to open up the control panel. Okay. Oh, that's wrong. Sorry, print wizard control panels. This is really one of the easiest to use 3D printers I've ever used. So we're going to go ahead and just select all of these and click open and see what happens. Usually you can open them one at a time, or if you have just one file, you can just double click on it and it'll pull this actually print wizard up. Okay, we've got some issues. So, who can identify what piece? I can tell you these pieces look like we're having some issues with it. And I remember this happening last year as well. So, sometimes it gets the wrong scale of your part and you have to resave your file. This could be because you saved it as millimeters or inches. Let's try millimeters. A lot of times, yeah, that's the issue. Now look, when I switched it to millimeters, now the scale switches down to 1. And I hit enter. Which one was the other one? So you got to be careful how you save this. Remember, we are doing inches for the most part. It doesn't really matter, but inches is going to be easiest for you. Millimeters, and we're going to go to 1 scale, and that makes that part right. Now let's make sure all these other ones are not scaled down. 1, 1, scale should be 1. Okay. So Evelyn needs 12 of these. Wow.
Yep.
So we go here to copies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I like the way that's oriented, so I'm not going to change it. Oh, wait, actually I went to 13. Okay. She needs 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this one I'm going to change the orientation. So if we go to orient part, I want it laying face down because I know that's going to give a better print. All right, so I put it laying down. Okay, and you need 2 of these. I'm really curious to see how this comes out. It's going to be an interesting design. All right, Dominique, you need 4 of these.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 5. Forget, you already start at 1. 4 of these.
That was 5.
One of these days I'll learn. 4 of those. Just 1 roof, is that right?
No, 4.
4. Oh goodness, you guys are filling up my print bed. Alright, so we're just gonna have to do...
The other one was 5.
Actually, we're gonna, Dominique, I'm gonna have you redo yours because I don't know if you noticed your pieces on here, but they're unnecessarily big. And what that's gonna do is just kind of waste a lot of my material. So if you can make those a little smaller, like you see how you've got that giant cube and just that little hole, you don't need all that, right? So if you don't mind going back and resubmitting, I'm gonna go and close out of yours, and we'll just print the other 2, okay? And 3 of these or 4 of these?
4.
Okay, so and when you look on here, make sure, let's see, are there holes in your pieces here? Yeah, you don't have any way to connect them. So looking at this one, I can see that there's no holes to connect the wood rods. It looks like both of your pieces are missing that, so I'm gonna go and just close out of that one too. We'll have to redo that. All right, but here is our, this is the one we're gonna print. We're just gonna print Evelyn's. Like I said, usually I like to do more than one project at a time, but since I'm making the video, we're gonna go and go with this. If you click print, it's gonna slice. It says generating supports, detecting support bottom, and it should by default print as solid. You can also change it to an infill. Let me actually go back and show you guys that, okay? So I'm going to close this. I'm going to open Evelyn's again real quick. Sorry. Uh-oh. Go ahead and pause the video. Okay, so I uploaded the pieces all back. I'm going to redo what I did before. These pieces look good. I erased the one that was scaled wrong to inches. You need 6 of these, 12 of these, and 2 of these. Okay, and if you look up here, it says supports, smart, basic, surround. It just really depends on what you're making. We use smart. It uses the smallest amount. It's only if you're making a really complex part. Then we got low density and solid. Because you don't have a lot of thick pieces, I'm going to go solid, but if those big squares, like in the ones that were there before that I had them redo because they were too big, I would use low density on those because it's not going to use as much material. Alright, so everything's going. We're going to hit print, same thing again. Generating all the supports, slicing, is what they call this. Generating the tool paths, that means all the little movements. You can think of it like a grid. Okay? Right here, it says it's going to take 2 hours and 13 minutes to print. It's going to use 0.48 cubic inches, and the support material is going to use 0.283, so it's not very much. Okay? And you can just close out of this actually. Okay? Once you're closed out of that, you pull up the control panel like we started out. Go to select part. And we're going to go down to the bottom one because that's the very last one. It says Evelyn. And we're going to hit print. Okay. So it says preparing to print. You come over here. I'm not gonna show you this whole process. The blue light comes on. It actually starts warming up. It gets hot in there. Okay, so it's heating up the extruders, and those extruders are basically, think of it kind of like a hot glue gun. There's a long wire of plastic. It feeds in there, and there's a little hot piece of metal, and that metal melts and makes the plastic liquid, and then it goes over a line, and then after it goes over one line, it goes up just a little bit, and then it goes another line, okay, then another line, and that plastic it's why it's liquid. It melts, it connects itself to the other layers, okay, and the more and more it just keeps building and building and building, and that's how the 3D printer works. But it's going to take a while to start up, so I'm not going to show you guys, okay? But that's how to use a 3D printer.